You see, the problem with human beings is not that life is fleeting, it's that we resist this fact at every turn. We build our identities and expectations on the illusion that permanence is possible, that security can be purchased, that the things we love or possess will remain just as they are, forever. We treat time like a bank account we're afraid to check, hoping that if we don't look, we won't notice it running out. We wrap ourselves in routines, familiar places, comforting relationships, as if these could act as anchors in a world made entirely of shifting tides. We clutch at youth as if age were an intruder rather than an inevitability, and we chase after status, people, and possessions as though they were meant to be permanent fixtures in a world that was designed to dissolve. But no matter how much we accumulate, how tightly we hold on, the truth keeps leaking through the cracks. It haunts us in moments of quiet, whispers to us in our dreams, and roars through the sudden losses that interrupt our carefully structured lives. The tragedy is not that everything changes, it's that we try so desperately to pretend it doesn't. Now let's be clear, impermanence isn't a glitch. It's not some unfortunate error in the blueprint of reality that we're meant to work around or fix with enough technology, planning, or spiritual gymnastics. No, impermanence is the very heart of existence. It's the whole show. It's not just that things happen to change, it's that change is the very nature of things. Everything is in flux. Nothing stands still. A tree is not a static object, but a living process, an unfolding of seed into root, root into trunk, trunk into branch, branch into leaf, and eventually leaf into soil again. And you too are not a finished product, not a thing frozen in time, but a living sequence of transformations. You are born, you grow, you learn, you shed identities, you evolve through joy and pain, and one day you too will return to the earth just like the tree. This isn't a philosophical metaphor. It's biology, it's physics, it's truth. The sooner you stop seeing yourself and the world as a collection of solid things and start recognizing the dance of processes, the sooner life starts to make sense. Everything you hold on to, you see, is already slipping through your fingers. But that's not meant to depress you. It's not a call to despair. It's the punchline. It's the setup for the dance, because life isn't meant to be grasped. It's meant to be experienced. The tighter you grip, the more life squirms away from you. Like trying to hold on to water with a clenched fist, it only escapes faster. You can't cling to the ocean. You can only swim in it, flow with it, become part of its rhythm. The invitation of life is not to control, but to participate, to be in motion with it, to let the music carry you even when the tune changes. This is not passivity, it's presence. You move not because you are pushed, but because you've learned how to surrender without giving up. There is a strength in that kind of surrender, the kind that allows you to meet each moment as it comes without fear of its passing. We grow up thinking we are the masters of our fate, that if we work hard enough, plan long enough, control every variable, and anticipate every outcome, we can secure ourselves against the storm. We are taught to build lives like fortresses, solid, predictable, safe, but the truth is it's all built on sand. Your job, your body, your friends, even your most cherished beliefs about yourself, these are waves, and waves by their nature crash. That's not failure, that's the design. Trying to hold a wave in place is not only futile, it's madness. And yet this is the root of so much of our suffering, the belief that we should be able to preserve what is, indefinitely, that we can somehow freeze the moment, the feeling, the relationship, and keep it pristine. But everything moves, everything evolves or dissolves, and the more we deny this, the more pain we create for ourselves, because in truth the wave was never meant to be held. It was meant to be ridden, appreciated, danced with while it lasts. Ah, but the beauty of it. Once you stop fighting change, something astonishing happens. A lightness sets in, a kind of inner spaciousness opens up. It's like realizing the wind is not your enemy. You turn your sail and ride it instead. You begin to see that you were never being punished by change. You were being invited to grow, to adapt, to participate fully in the dynamic miracle of existence. Suddenly, you're not weighed down by the burden of trying to freeze time. You're moving with it. You're not dragging a coffin of memories behind you, nor are you anxiously trying to clutch the future. You're here, now, dancing. There is a rhythm to the universe, a deep pulse that moves through everything, and when you stop resisting, you can feel it inside you. You breathe differently, you walk differently, even your thoughts soften. You're no longer in battle with reality. You're in harmony with it. Most people confuse impermanence with loss. They think letting go means giving up. But that's only true if you assume you ever had control to begin with. You didn't. You never did. Not over people, not over outcomes, not over the future. All of it was borrowed, and all of it will be returned. This is not a reason to despair, it's a reason to be grateful. The time you had, the love you shared, the beauty you witnessed, it was never guaranteed, and that's what made it sacred. When you stop pretending that permanence is real, you start treating moments with reverence. You listen more closely, you speak more kindly, you forgive more quickly, not because you're trying to be virtuous, but because you understand just how fragile, how fleeting, how exquisite each passing interaction truly is. To let go is not to lose. It is to recognize that you never owned anything in the first place. And in that recognition, peace begins. Think of love. If you knew someone would be with you forever, no matter what, would you really appreciate their presence? Would you listen as closely to their words, hold them as tightly, look at them with such awe? It is precisely because we don't know how long we have that love becomes sacred. Impermanence adds depth to connection. The awareness that things can and will change wakes us up. It strips away complacency and demands our full presence. The awareness of impermanence doesn't dilute love. It intensifies it. It urges us to say the kind word now, to forgive today, to express gratitude while there's still time. Love, in the light of impermanence, becomes not a possession, but a participation. A fleeting, fierce devotion to this moment, this soul, this breath. And in that, love reaches its truest form, not as something to hold, but as something to pour out while we can. And when it comes to suffering, we forget. Pain is temporary too. No feeling is final. That ache in your chest, that disappointment, that heartbreak, it passes. Not because you fight it, not because you conquer it through willpower, but because all things pass. Time moves, life flows, and so does pain. It has its rise and fall, its ebb and flow. Even the most unbearable moments have their half-lives. The sorrow you think will break you will one day become a memory. The loneliness that keeps you up at night will someday give way to laughter. This is not just sentiment, it is truth, borne out by every person who has lived long enough to see both dawn and dusk. Even the worst days, they too expire, and with each ending comes a strange and beautiful chance for renewal. You are never stuck. You are simply between waves. You begin to see that the tragedy isn't that things end. The real tragedy is that we try to make them last forever. That's what causes suffering. Not death, but denial of it. Not change, but resistance to it. Impermanence doesn't hurt you. Your refusal to accept it does. You suffer because you want the world to behave in a way it never promised it would. You want to stop time, to hold love in a jar, to pause your favorite moment and live there forever. But reality doesn't work that way. It never has. And in truth, that's not a flaw. It's a blessing. Because when you let go of the need for permanence, you begin to truly live. You stop trying to grip the river and start swimming in it. You stop bracing for loss and start embracing what's here, now, in all its fragile glory. But the moment you truly let go, that's when the miracle happens, not in theory, not as a clever idea, but in your bones. Something inside you releases, the grip loosens, and the world doesn't fall apart. Instead, it opens up. You look around and see the same world, but it shines. The light hits differently. A morning coffee becomes a little ritual of worship. A breeze on your face becomes a silent poem. A glance from a stranger carries a glimmer of eternity. Life becomes precious, not because it's rare, but because it's unstable, because it cannot be owned, only met with reverence and gratitude. You start to see the divine not in some distant